The early morning sun cast a soft orange glow over my backyard in Willow Creek, a quiet suburb in Oregon, on April 17th, 2024. I stood by my weathered fence, stirring a can of lavender paint, a color my late wife, Emma, had adored. "It's like a sunset caught in a flower," she'd say, her smile brighter than the dawn. 8 months after her battle with leukemia ended, I was finally ready to honor her by repainting our fence. My hands shook, not from the cool spring air, but from the ache of her absence. At 7:15 a.m., the sharp clack of heels shattered the stillness. Margaret, the HOA president, stormed toward me, her assistant scurrying behind, clutching a tablet like a shield. Margaret's voice sliced through the calm. "Stop right there, Daniel. That's P4-9271 paint, not the approved P4-8923. You're violating HOA Rule 9.4.1. I set down my brush, keeping my tone even. "It's just a shade lighter, Margaret. No one will notice." Her eyes glinted with malice. "Rules are rules, Daniel. I recall you landed that library contract last year, didn't you?" Her mention of the contract twisted my gut. It had been a modest job, fairly won, but I remembered her fury. After the announcement, she'd corner me at City Hall, demanding a 25% kickback for her cousin's firm. I'd refused, staring her down. "I don't play dirty, Margaret." She'd hissed, "You'll pay for this." I thought it was bluster. I was wrong. My neighbor, Ethan, a 24-year-old tech whiz, leaned over his balcony, phone in hand, recording. "Yo, Margaret's at it again, harassing the widower." His live stream had already racked up views, exposing Margaret's reign of terror. She spun toward him, livid. "Turn that off. You're breaking privacy rules." Ethan grinned. "Public sidewalk, public record, lady." Mrs. Larson, watering her roses nearby, whispered, "Tread carefully, Daniel." Rachel tried to fight her and vanished from the neighborhood. Something's not right. Before I could ask more, Victor, the HOA vice president, strutted over, smirking. "My firm could inspect your house, Daniel. Might find violations. Would hate to see your workshop shut down." I met his gaze. "That a threat, Victor?" Margaret slapped a $150 daily fine on me for the paint, her parting shot chilling. "I hope your business has its permits. Would be a shame if the city got a tip." 3 days later, I prepared for the HOA meeting like a soldier for battle, armed with 50 pages of evidence. Paint swatches, state laws, even a colorblind test proving the shades were nearly identical. Emma's voice echoed in my mind. "If they bring a stick, you bring a blueprint." The community center was packed to over 200 people, far more than the usual dozen. Ethan's video of Margaret's outburst had gone viral locally, drawing a crowd hungry for justice. Margaret, flanked by Victor and a nervous third board member, banged her gavel, her composure fraying. When I presented my case, she cut my mic, screeching irrelevant. But the crowd wasn't hers anymore. Voices rose $400 for a birdhouse, $900 for holiday lights. Rachel, the former treasurer, flinched when I mentioned financial transparency, then fled the room, pale as death. Margaret's glare at her was venomous. The meeting spiraled into chaos, with Ethan's live stream hitting 15,000 viewers. Margaret raised my fine to $600 a day. The room roared in protest. At 5:30 a.m. the next day, I stood by my fence, sipping coffee, filming for proof. Margaret's curtain twitched. She was watching. By 5:35, she was on the phone, screaming to the police that I was vandalizing property, possibly armed. I recorded everything, narrating calmly. Then I noticed her fence sleek, new, and at least 8 feet tall, violating the HOA's 6-foot limit. Zooming in, I saw a plaque, "VLM Construction, built with pride." My heart raced. A quick search revealed VLM was Victor's company, the exclusive contractor for all 5 HOAs Margaret ran. This wasn't just hypocrisy, it was a scheme. Police arrived at 5:39. Margaret, in a bathrobe, shrieked for my arrest. The officer, a no-nonsense woman, watched my video and turned to Margaret, exasperated. "He's on his property, holding coffee." When I showed her VLM's website, her eyes narrowed. That's a conflict of interest. Call the state attorney general. Ethan, streaming from his balcony, caught Margaret's final threat. I'll bury you, Daniel. The video exploded online, hitting 600,000 views in hours. Days later, I faced a new blow. City officials shut down my workshop after an anonymous tip about zoning violations. I had to let go of my 2 employees, draining my savings to cover their severance. Desperate, I stormed the HOA office, demanding financial records. Margaret's guard threw me out, as Victor whispered, "Should have taken the deal." Ethan filmed it all, his video pushing the scandal to 2 million views. That night, he showed me a fundraiser for my workshop, $35,000 raised in hours. A message from Rachel, the ex-treasurer, changed everything. She wanted to talk. At a dimly lit diner on April 22nd, Rachel, trembling, handed me a USB drive. Margaret threatened my son's safety. I stayed quiet, but Emma helped me when I was drowning in debt. I owe her. The drive held proof, $280,000 stolen from our HOA, funneled through fake invoices to VLM. Rachel had tipped off the FBI after Ethan's video gave her courage. "They've been watching Margaret for a year," she said. "You're the spark they needed." On April 26th, I called an emergency HOA meeting backed by 60 homeowner signatures. Margaret fought it, but state law trapped her. The community center overflowed with 250 people. Ethan's 3-camera setup streamed to 70,000 viewers. I projected damning evidence. $80,000 for a non-existent park, paid to VLM, while Victor's mansion got a new pool. Forged signatures, identical across board approvals, screamed fraud. Margaret's control crumbled as Rachel walked in, carrying a box of records. Her voice shook but grew firm. $280,000 stolen. $50,000 for a playground that never came. $40,000 for Margaret's BMW. The crowd erupted, blocking Margaret's escape. Then sirens. Not local cops, FBI SUVs swarmed the building. Agents in tactical gear flooded in, arresting Margaret for wire fraud, money laundering, and racketeering. Victor sobbed, spilling everything. "She took 65%, I got 35%. Offshore accounts in Belize." The lead agent revealed a $1.4 million scheme across 5 HOAs, with 17 co-conspirators. Ethan's stream, now at 3.5 million viewers, had forced their hand, dubbed Operation Paintgate. Raids hit 4 other HOAs simultaneously, dismantling a nationwide fraud ring. 3 months later, on July 10th, Willow Creek glowed with renewal. Margaret got 17 years, Victor 6 for cooperating. Homeowners recovered $1,400 per household. We dissolved the HOA, forming a transparent community group. Ethan's documentary on the scandal hit 12 million views, launching his career in exposing corruption. Rachel joined the FBI's fraud unit, her bravery honored at a block party on Margaret's foreclosed lawn. My workshop thrived, and I built a bench from the old fence, inscribed, "For Emma, who taught us to fight." New laws capped HOA fines nationwide, sparked by our case. As I sat on Emma's bench, a neighbor asked about paint colors. "Whatever brings you joy," I said, grinning. "Just steer clear of Bay Geet's cursed." The sunset bathed our free neighborhood in gold. What would you do if your neighbor tried to control your life? Have you faced a bully like Margaret? Should HOAs have this much power, or are they breeding grounds for corruption? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories of justice.